You ever finish a thriller, close it, and then just sit there? Not because it was good, because your brain is already flipping back through everything you just read and asking whether any of it was actually true. Some books don't just surprise you, they make you feel like the narrator spent the whole time lying to your face while you nodded along. Today, we're talking about the ones that do it properly, not the cheap gotcha endings that feel like a trick. The books where the unreliability is baked into how the story is told, the pacing of what they hide, when they hide it, and what it does to you as the reader. We're ranking them by how completely they make you want to go back to page 1 the second you finish. From the ones that plant quiet doubt early to the one that waits until the final pages to show you the ground was never solid to begin with. Number 7, The Push by Ashley Audrain. This one works because the narrator never gets the luxury of clarity. She's a new mother who keeps having these thoughts about her daughter that she immediately tries to rationalize away. The chapters are short, sometimes just a paragraph, and they hit like intrusive thoughts. You don't get long, reflective passages. You get these jagged little bursts of her trying to be okay and failing. What makes it land is how the book refuses to let you decide. You're never quite sure if you're reading a story about a dangerous child or a mother whose mind is quietly breaking. And because the doubt is constant rather than saved for one big moment, you finish the book still carrying some of that uncertainty with you. That's harder to do than it looks. Number 6, Behind Closed Doors by B.A. Paris. On paper, this is the classic perfect couple setup. But the way the wife describes their life at the beginning is so careful. All those little details about how thoughtful her husband is, how lucky she feels. You start to believe it right alongside her. The book lets you live inside the performance for longer than feels comfortable. The real control doesn't announce itself with violence right away. It shows up in small domestic things, a missed lunch, a locked room, the way she starts editing her own thoughts before she even speaks. By the time the basement enters the story, you've already spent chapters being lulled into the same false safety she was. It doesn't feel like a twist. It feels like waking up. Number 5, The Turn of the Key by Ruth Ware. This one is told through letters from a woman in prison to her lawyer. She's explaining how she ended up accused of murdering a child in her care. The thing is, she knows she's writing for an audience. So every detail feels slightly curated. You catch yourself wondering, did she really forget to mention that earlier? Or is she shaping the story? The unreliability here isn't dramatic memory loss. It's the quiet kind. The kind where someone tells you 90% of the truth and lets you fill in the rest until the missing 10% changes the entire shape of what happened. Number 4, The Girl on the Train by Paula Hawkins. Rachel's chapters are these blurry, half-remembered train rides and nights she can't piece together. The book doesn't just tell you she has blackouts, it makes you live them. You'll read a scene where she's at a house, something important happens, and then the next chapter starts with her waking up not knowing how she got home. That gap, the one the reader has to sit in, is what makes the eventual revelations land so differently. You're not just learning what happened, you're experiencing the same frustration of having the pieces, but not the picture. Number 3, Gone Girl by Gillian Flynn. This is the one that probably kicked off the modern wave of wait was any of this real thrillers. By splitting the narrative between Nick's present-day chapters and Amy's diary entries, the book trains you to trust one person's account while the other one is being built in the background. The diary feels so intimate at first, private thoughts, real fears. Then you realize it was never private. It was constructed. The timing of when that clicks for the reader is crucial. It doesn't happen all at once. It seeps in. And once it does, you can't help going back in your mind to every normal moment and seeing it through this new, colder light. Number 2, Verity by Colleen Hoover. The embedded manuscript is the star here. You're reading this autobiography within the book that may be the most honest thing ever written or the most calculated fiction. The fact that even the author of the outer story isn't sure by the end is what makes it stick. Readers still debate the ending years later. That ambiguity isn't a flaw, it's the point. The book leaves you holding two possible realities and makes you choose which one you believe. And number one, The Silent Patient by Alex Michaelides. This one earns the top spot because it saves the biggest structural betrayal for the very end. You spend the entire book in Theo's head, listening to him try to help this woman who won't speak. The tone is measured, professional, almost clinical at times. You trust him because he seems to be the only one trying to understand her. Then the final chapters arrive, and you realize the person holding the pen was never the observer you thought he was. The entire frame of the story, the therapy sessions, the case notes, the way certain events were described, shifts. Not because new facts are added, but because you finally see who is choosing which facts to show you and in what order. That's the difference between a twist that surprises and one that makes you want to immediately start the book over with new eyes. These aren't just books with unreliable narrators. They're books where the unreliability feels like the only honest way to tell that particular story. The doubt isn't a gimmick added at the end. It's the air the whole thing breathes. If you've read any of these, you know exactly what I mean by that. I need to reread the first chapter feeling. Drop a comment with the one that messed with your head the most, or the one you think deserves to be higher on this list. I actually read every comment, and a lot of them end up influencing future videos. And if you want the complete ranked list, with even more books that use this device in interesting ways, plus the full reader notes on which ones reward a second read the most, you can find it all over on thrillerranked.com. Links in the description. Thanks for watching. Now go read something that makes you question everything